Good day. This is Richard Evans, the president of Revenue Report Card, here to give you a brief presentation. What we're doing is we are providing the hotel world with revenue intelligence that at this point really does not exist. I like to call it the missing component because when you look at reports that you're getting, no doubt, like Star or Hotelligence or something like, or HBS, they look in the past. They're great reports, but they look in the past after you've performed. And what we do is our intelligence provides a look into the future, or we forecast channel pace or productivity. But we do it on a net basis because each channel, of course, has a different profitability or different cost, and that cost changes every month. And so that's part of the calculation or the algorithm that we use. I have been in the hotel business for over 25 years as a CFO, controller, and also general manager. I have also done some asset management work. And so I also now have started to write some articles, and I've been very lucky to be published by some news magazines such as Hospitality Net. What you're looking at is something that came out yesterday on a hot issue, which is it time to standardize hotel revenues? It blends a little bit into what we're doing, and so let me go forth, and if you'd like, take a look on our website, which is revenuereportcard.com, and you can read the article if you so desire. The first thing, and this is really the basis of that article, is to standardize revenues. Just as the accountants have done with expenses many years ago, revenue has become so popular, or revenue optimization has become so popular, that I think it would be a great time to start exploring these buckets, as I call them, or channels that are standardized. And if you take a quick look, what we've done is we've standardized it in a way that would be useful to the hotelier. Not all hotels have the same needs, and so you can see here, if you're a flagged hotel, you would have a website brand or your private brand, as opposed to package deals, which you may want to separate, and website discounted deals. OTAs have different characteristics. We know that there's some that charge you 15% to 19%, others 20 to 31%. Some of them base themselves on last-minute travel, and of course, you're dealing with opaques and receptive wholesalers, some of whom are now selling directly to the end user. So we like to separate them because each channel can be turned on, off, or restricted on its own. And so what we do is we collect information from our clients, and what we then do is that we key code it so that it fits into this schedule. And this allows us to compare your hotel to area production or area information on specific channels. And of course, in so doing, you can see how you're doing compared to the area, both in ADR, in channel participation, and in some cases, you may find a channel that you're not participating in that you wish to. One of the interesting things that we do is we create an optimization index. And really what it is, it's a way to compare yourselves again to your area. And what it does is it really tells you how well am I optimizing, how much money am I leaving on the table. It's a weighted average, and so you can see here, this is an actual client of ours that scored an 81.9% this year compared to 76.4%. So right off the bat, you can see that they scored 5.5% higher in optimization. And then if you compare them to the area hotels, in this case, there were about 15 hotels. The area had a 77.2% and a 76.5%. So they did better than the area currently, and a little worse, really the same as the area currently. And if you can see that the total cumulative net index, they improved 4.8%. So this is a small segment of the flash report that comes out weekly, and that would be located up here. Okay, and what we do is we focus on channels that are moving. Revenue managers, I am one, was one, am one. We don't have a lot of time. Our days are filled, and even if you put a 12-hour day in, it seems like there's never enough time to get things done. So what we're attempting to do here is we're attempting to save you the time by identifying each week the channels that are on the move. In this case, you can see channel 3, which is the website, and in this case, this client had done some additions to their website. You can see had a 256.5% increase compared to the prior year. And you can see that they had a 90.8% current channel profitability. So that makes that a channel that we want to drive as much revenue, obviously, through as we possibly can. You can also see these other two, OTA Tier 2 and PBX reservations, all have high channel profitability and all have gone up in pace compared to last year. Now, this hotel, remember, is a client of ours and had been for a while, and so it's really the perfect scenario to present because they have, in fact, replaced these channels after receiving some of our reports. And you can see these channels were a little less profitability, where the OTA Tier 1 was 77%, GDS 78%, so on and so forth. And you can see that compared to last year, they have gone down in their use. Once we determine that the channels that are moving can fill your hotel on the prior year's fill dates, which are located down here, and even more, hopefully, we then make a suggestion to the revenue manager to take a look at a possible change in strategy. There's a lot of information, great information here on ADR, on channel profitability, how much of the profitability, not how much of the gross reservation revenue, but how much of the profitability is taken by each of these channels, the length of stays, and so on and so forth. Now, these are reports. We only give you 3 reports, but these are the reports that build into that flash report. And what you're looking at is a neat little report, and it's the channel cost report. We work with the accounting department. If you get started with us, we spend probably a half hour with the controller just to get information from them. And then every month, if there are certain expenditures in certain channels, we allocate those expenditures to those channels, again, going back to that proposed chart of accounts. You can see here that, let's just look at the website channel, since we just saw that is increasing so highly. This is an independent website channel. They had a 9.2% cost. And the black area here, under each of the yellow highlighted areas, represents your area. So you can see here that the website, and this happened to be that new website I was speaking about, is producing better than other hotels are in their area, and that area could consist anywhere from 7 to 10, even more hotels. And you can see that we place a note by the channels that we should take a look at, as indicated in the last report, that say, look, this channel is pacing higher, you should take a look at it, or this channel is pacing 10% or more lower, and take a look at that, and let's make sure that we can fill the hotel on those sellout days with the optimal reservations through the optimal channel. Here, the last report that we have that we supply is more of a visual. The key here is that this is a channel profitability report, unlike what we as hoteliers have become accustomed to in looking at gross reservation revenues. When we look at a page report and we put all channels on a level playing field, it's really not showing us the profitability or how valuable those channels are. So we separate these channels, and you can see up here the key is that the green is current period, that would be 1 week, prior year is red, blue is area current period, and yellow is prior year period. And again, let's just jump down to the website, and you can see at a 256% increase. Their profitability is way over. And last year, with the website that needed some work, they underperformed. They underperformed based on the area. You can see very much, and you can see the prior year there. You can see that on average, the prior year results increased in the area, but you can see that they have really gone over and above the net profit that's being produced by all hotels in their area, looking at this report. Every single channel has a PACE report individually, and up here is the amount of net income, what I call net gross revenue, because we only take into consideration the costs that are involved in bringing a guest to our door, and until that guest steps over the threshold of their room, And once that happens, then operational expenses then take over. We're a development stage company, and we seek your endorsement. And for that, we're willing to give you a try, a sample of what these reports can do for you. Let's call it a holiday gift. And we're providing a 3-month complimentary reporting period. You'll have no obligation afterwards, but what we would like is we would like your recommendation if you feel that this has done well for you. You'll receive a report each week, and you will see during this period your revenues will grow exponentially, no doubt. You'll receive a confidentiality guarantee from us. Nothing is shared with anyone. Once we receive your information, it's like putting it in the bank. We only provide other hotels with similar characteristics, averages, so that you can compare yourself to them. You may discontinue the service at any time for any reason, and there will be no questions asked. And if you're one of the first 10 hotels in any particular area, we're going to guarantee a $22 per week fee for 2 years. I'll just read the last line. We believe that once you see the revenue growth generated from these reports, you'll communicate your satisfaction to your peers. With your buy-in, we will succeed and grow our base, and we would appreciate that. And this is what it's all about for us. It's all about getting some buy-in from you, the hotel you're in, showing you how much this can help you. These are the reports in the beginning that we key punch in. We then convert over to working with your PMS system. But in the beginning, it's important that we're able to talk to you and talk about the specific characteristics of each of the channels. Since we're collecting information on many hotels, in certain areas, we're able to provide characteristics of some sources of reservations that are very, very important. If you looked at the chart of account, we have broken wholesaler receptive operators into 2 categories because we've been able to identify, or we're identifying certain wholesalers, let's say in this case in South Florida, since that's where I'm based, we're identifying characteristics that we would want to separate because there are some wholesalers that might be filling you from Sunday through Thursday, and as a weekend resort, if you're filling up and you're guaranteed a sellout, you wouldn't want to close those wholesalers receptive operators because they would most likely continue to provide you with reservations on those days that will remain empty. So this is the report. The important points of the report, since each PMS puts something out different, is the number of reservations, the number of room nights, the room revenue, ADR, and average length of stay. On some PMSs, they give you the average lead time in, which is the booking window. I don't have to have that. However, that also is a great identifying characteristic to separate into channels so that we know when reservations are coming in, how early they're coming in, and how important those are. Again, another consideration to add a separate channel. So in the beginning, the time investment is the greatest from your staff. We ask you to provide us with reports. This is a checklist for the year each week. We would like the prior year also because I think that in the beginning, being able to compare your net gross revenue to a prior year and seeing, right, you can visualize then the profitability and how it's coming in, and it's much more effective. We also provide this to the accounting department, and we'd like to know the cost of your website. We amortize that over its useful life. Any search engine optimization that you're doing, any type of what I call investment into sales would be qualified and put into a channel. And if that investment, for example, let's say you're investing in the AAA book, the travel book, and let's say it has a 6-month shelf life, but we'll amortize that over 6 months. You may be doing that, your accountant may be doing that already on the balance sheet. But so these are the things that enable us to cost what you're doing. And this is the agreement, and the agreement really is, it's a complimentary agreement. The agreement can be canceled at any time for any reason with no consequence to anyone. Okay? And we are collecting information confidential in nature, and we acknowledge that the dissemination of that information to anyone else, unless it's combined, would cause you damage. And so we're willing to tell you up front that this will not be shared with anyone. We're guaranteeing it in writing. Thank you very much for the time. I've enjoyed speaking with you. If you're interested, please go to the contact page, write me a quick note, and I'll be able to get a hold of you by Skype. This is Richard Evans, and it's been a pleasure. Thank you.